If you're a busy mom who wants less stress and more homemade meals and want to feel like you're ahead for once, this video is for you. And hey, if this is your vibe, make sure you subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any of my other content. I share tips for busy moms who want to start homesteading without losing their minds. And speaking about losing our minds, meal prep in the kitchen does not have to be time consuming and it should not be difficult. Doesn't have to be perfect or fancy. Meal prep is about making your life easier. I used to think meal prep was like an all day thing, taking hours on end to prep everything for the week. And sometimes I do still spend a few hours in the kitchen, but it's only because I choose to do so because I like baking and I like to cook. But I found some simple steps that keep my kitchen stocked, my family fed, even on the busiest nights. Let's get into it. And I have a process to my madness. I promise, so just stick with me. So at the end of the week, and usually by the end of the week, I'm talking about like Thursday, Friday, right? So the beginning of our week usually starts with the work week. I go to work on Tuesdays, but school starts on Mondays, right? So just for the sake of the kids, we're going to say the week starts on Monday. And what I do is I go through my freezer, I go through my fridge, I go through my pantry, everything on my shelves, and I decide what I can use or what I need to use and start basing my meals and start coming up with ideas for the following week. And then I will start making a list. I make a list of dinner ideas and then I make a grocery list. So everything that I don't already have in stock in my house that I'll need to purchase from a grocery store to make those meals happen. Doing it this way helps me cut waste and save money. Because I don't know about you, but things get lost in the pantry. Kids are moving things around, grabbing their favorite items, and those least favorite items go towards the back. Or you have things in the freezer that get shoved all the way to the back and you forget about them and you end up purchasing the same thing at the store again because you didn't realize that you already had it. And then next thing you know, it's 2 years later and you're having to throw away that food item because it finally went bad or it's freezer burnt from being in the freezer too long or whatever. So doing it this way is definitely a money saving tip and it helps me stay a little bit organized knowing what I have in my household. Going through it weekly helps me rotate items out and make sure I'm using those things before they go bad. And sometimes I have to get creative, sometimes I have something on my shelf that is like, why do I even have this? No one in my household eats this, but it challenges me and it helps me get creative to find ways how I can use that product the next week, whether it be for like a snack or maybe I can turn it into a baked good or somehow incorporate it into my dinner plans. Based on what kind of meals I'm planning for the next week, proteins is my next on the list. So what am I planning on cooking? Am I going to cook a steak? Am I doing something with burger? Maybe I'm going to take out a whole chicken and I'm going to throw it in the crock pot for some easy shredded chicken. I can do several meals based off of that one protein. So I'm going to cook this chicken. I'm going to have all this shredded chicken ready to use. I could make sandwiches out of it. I could do a casserole. There's a lot of different things that I could do with that chicken, right? And I'll do the same thing with burger. So maybe I'll take 3 pounds of burger out of the freezer and I'll do spaghetti and prep a lasagna and do tacos or use your imagination, sloppy joes. There's a lot of different things that you can do. And no, I'm not saying we have the same thing every single night. Well, some weeks we do because if we have really busy weeks, sometimes it's just easiest. That's not the point. We don't necessarily have the same thing every night, but we can alternate. So maybe like Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I'll use that chicken or I'll use that burger. And then Tuesday and Thursday, I'll prep something else. We'll do a steak or maybe we'll do a chicken salad or something else. Like I said, use your imagination. There's a lot of different ways that you can make life in the kitchen easier. I know a lot of times when I'm at work, I have all my coworkers like, oh, Becky, what are you cooking for dinner? Oh, what are you cooking for dinner? I'm like, oh, we're doing this. Like, oh, you're going to do that tonight? I'm like, no, girl, I already have it prepped. Like, everything's ready. All I got to do is go home and warm it up. And they're like, man, I wish I could meal prep. Like, I want to do that. It doesn't have to be hard. And honestly, if you're going to do anything meal prepping wise and you're short on time, cooking your proteins is probably the best thing that you can do. I know a lot of people don't necessarily love leftovers, but preparing or at least having it be prepared to cook. Like, let's say you're going to do a steak, put that bad boy in some marinade and leave it in your fridge. So all you have to do is take it out and cook it. Steak does not take that long to cook. It's like 10 minutes, usually tops, right? Depending on how long you're cooking it, how thick the steak is, all that jazz. Me personally, I usually like to do a little bit more than just cook my proteins. I like to prep the veggies and kind of have a meal plan on like what I'm doing. So like if we're doing a steak and rice, I will make sure I already like I'll take the pressure cooker, right? That's what it's called. I'll take the pressure cooker out and set it on my counter in the morning before I leave. So all I have to do is wash the rice and put it in the pressure cooker. It's done in 8 minutes. Bam. Warm up whatever meat we're having and throw a side in and we're done. Like dinner in less than 25 minutes. And it's all home cooked. It wasn't something that was taken out through a drive-through. It's all healthy and no chemicals or preservatives. And we love that. And here is another quick pro tip. If you are doing some kind of casserole or a stew, something that goes like in a crock pot, for instance, for your dinner plans that week, do twice as much. Cut up twice as much. Do a gallon baggie and put all of your stew stuff or whatever you're throwing in the crock pot in that gallon baggie and throw it in the freezer. Throw another casserole together and put it in the freezer because you're already cutting up veggies. You're already preparing the meat, right? So why not do just a little bit more and freeze some for later? So then when you have those super busy nights, when you don't have anything ready, you're not going through the McDonald's drive-thru. You can just simply take something out of the freezer and pop it in the oven. Or if you didn't have time to meal prep, you can take out these things ahead of time and throw it in the crock pot in the morning. And by the time you get home, it's ready to go. If you do this every single week, it means that you'll have an extra surplus of dinners. This is great for giving to family and friends last minute. If I've had friends that, get sick or have surgery, and I can just take something out of the freezer and bring it over to them so they don't have to worry about it. Worst case scenario, you come down with a cold and you're not feeling good. Your family can simply just take those freezer meals out and thaw them, and they're ready to cook without you having to do all that labor that day, that week, whatever. And they still get those great tasting home cooked meals. And meal prep doesn't have to be one giant marathon in the kitchen. Like I said, I like to do it all in one day. I'll just kind of jam out to some music and whip it all out in a few hours. But I've been doing this for years, so I have a method to my madness. And Kitty, you're moving my camera. Come here. You're moving my camera. Stop it. But for the days or for the weeks that I don't have time to spend in the kitchen, I just break everything down into 15-minute increments. So as I'm doing my grocery list, I'm making a to-do list. So for example, if we're going to do Philly steak sandwiches, right? I'm going to take the meat out to thaw. I'm going to cook the meat. I am going to make the bread. I'm going to cut the veggies. So there are 4 steps. All these things I could easily do in 5, 10, 15-minute increments without having to sit down and do it all at once. The checklist also helps me stay organized because I get distracted with all the animals and the kids. It happens, and I can make a whole full-on dinner, homemade burgers, homemade fries, the full shabam, and then forget to make the buns. And then we're having just burgers, bunless burgers. It happens. It's okay. But that's why I like the list, because then it helps me make sure that I get everything done that I want to for my dinners that week. And there will be some weeks where I don't feel like meal prepping at all. Like I don't want to do anything. I just want to sit on the couch and binge watch some random Netflix show, right? So I'll usually trick myself into it because I know future me will thank me. What's that saying? It's procrastination is making it easier for you now, but harder for you later. And I would personally rather it be hard for me now and easier later, because I don't know what the future holds. I don't know how I'm going to feel later, right? But I know how I feel right now. And I know that I probably could do it just because I don't want to. So I will bring my little like iPad or Kindle into the kitchen with me, and I will watch a movie in the background. I will listen to music, listen to a podcast, and before you know it, all my meal prep is done, and I'm actually wanting to sit in the kitchen longer so I can finish my show or finish my Audible book or whatever. I use my meal planning mostly for dinners, while I will meal plan lunches for my kids on occasion. I kind of leave that up to them, whatever they want to eat, whatever they want to make. They're homeschooled and they're all old enough. They can cook bare minimum. My daughter can cook a little bit more, but I kind of leave lunch completely up to them. And for breakfast, I will often do like grab and go items. So muffins, pancakes, waffles. I mean, use your imagination. You can bulk make all of these products and put them in your freezer so the kids can just grab them and go warm them up or whatever, and they still have homemade breakfast while I'm at work. And do my maple syrup. I will make it on the weekends, and it usually takes about 2 weeks for them to go through it, and then I will have to make another batch, and I just have everything ready for them. Makes it super easy, and I know they're eating healthy home cooked meals even when I'm not here. This doesn't have to be just breakfast stuff. I mean, you could do pizza pockets and cookies and calzones, bagel bites, breadsticks, pigs in a blanket. Use your imagination. You can bulk make all of these, and you just, depending on what it is, make sure that they are freezer sealed so that they aren't getting icky. And also another pro tip is using a like whiteboard, or sorry, I'm looking at my fridge, or you even take a piece of paper if you don't have a whiteboard and tape it to your freezer and write down everything that you have in the freezer, because we forget things. Kids forget things. They're going to forget that some of those things are in there, and then they're going to just be eating cereal instead of your home cooked meals, which is fine. I mean, I guess they're eating, but the point is you don't want those things, that all your hard work, all those things that you have made and put in the freezer for them, you don't want them going bad simply because they forgot about them. And having that on my freezer helps like kind of remind my kids like, oh yeah, there's pancakes in there. Yeah, I'm going to have that. That sounds great. Prep doesn't have to be difficult. Doubling meals, a little planning, and breaking it into small steps can really make all the difference. Now, if you like this video, if it helped you in any way, please hit that thumbs up button. It really helps me know what kind of content you guys like so that I can create more. And don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on any of my other content. I will see you guys in the next one. Love you. Bye.